What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our week six preview and picks. As always, I got Ethan joining me here, breaking down this week's best games. But before we get into it, we got to talk about last week. And obviously, you got me one game, 10-4 last week, pretty good record there. And the only games we actually got wrong together was that Seahawks Giants game. Obviously, the Giants pulled off a huge upset, and I don't think a lot of people saw that one coming. But we were talking about it earlier. The Bengals sold me, and obviously, you got that right for the Ravens.
Yep.
Niners sold me. You got that right for the Cardinals. And then obviously Tampa sold you. Now I got Atlanta. And your Steelers sold at the goal line at the end. And obviously I got that win for Dallas.
Yeah, and the one time Dak wants to be clutch, scoring two, what was it, scoring two touchdowns or something like that. One at
Mm, like super
whatever the
late,
stat
yeah.
was. Yeah, so I mean that was pretty disappointing. Really wanted to stay up for that game, but didn't. Can't lie, didn't stay up for that one. But yeah, solid week overall, and we're looking to bounce back here. We're looking forward. We're looking
Mhm.
forward. We're not we're not stepping on the brakes here. So
No,
six and
no.
0 record, dude.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
impressive.
good. Not gonna lie, this is might be the only time that I did it. And of course, I had to parlay it. Dollar. I only throw a dollar on it, but $36 richer. So can't complain about that. Obviously, I was sweating that the Jets and Vikings under. And obviously that Falcons game was insane and they walked off in OT. So I got lucky. Little bit of luck was involved here on this one, but I think the Pittsburgh Dallas game and the raining conditions I didn't cash out because I was pretty sold that it was going to be an under there.
Yeah, so solid week. As for me, 2-4. Nothing else to really talk about. We're just gonna jump ahead,
Mhm.
and I'll go first. This is the first time we actually put our odds in, and plus 61.59 for mine. This is a parlay for. I did this on DraftKings. Brian Thomas Jr. anytime touchdown. He's been phenomenal as a rookie this year. Cleveland plus 9. Haven't seen enough from Philadelphia to want to pick them in this game. Indianapolis plus 3. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. I know you're a Titans fan, but give me the Colts plus the points. Chargers, Broncos, both offensive sucks, along with Pittsburgh and Vegas. And then um, Detroit, Dallas over 52. That's actually supposed to be Commanders, Ravens. That's my bad. It's bad communication.
Bad
So,
comparison. But good thing I'll start then. Good thing it's on mine because I
yeah.
have the over on that one.
Yes,
So
sir.
it kind of works out there. We'll just swap that in the next week. But obviously I got two anytime touchdowns, Jordan Mason and Derrick Henry. We're recording this at halftime of the Niners game, and Mason could be hurt, so I could have already lost that one. But Derrick
Mhm.
Henry's anytime touchdown odds have just increasingly gotten worse each week. So you got to throw it into a parlay if you kind of want to make some money off that. It's like minus 350, I think, for Derrick Henry to score a touchdown, which is pretty crazy. It's even worse odds than Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown last year. But like you, I got the Chargers, Broncos under, and Steelers, Raiders under, and I still will take Detroit, Dallas. I think the Lions are going to come in there. I'm not saying they're going to blow them out, but I think this is definitely going to be one of those high scoring affairs that you see these Lions and Cowboys get into, at least for the last few years that they've played. But we'll jump into this week. Obviously, I'm taking the Niners. They're up 16-3 at half right now. So you'll see this video if they can finally pull through and win a game where they're actually leading going into the fourth quarter, or if they blow yet another lead. And that's been the story of the Niners this year. Obviously, where we stand right now, hopefully the Niners can finish it off.
Not much more analysis going. I'm kind of on the baseball train today, so
Mhm.
go Tigers. Tough loss today for the Tigers, and but hey, scoops for Game 5 is going to be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Sorry to get off track, but
Facts.
that's what I'm feeling.
And then after that great Saturday, hopefully for my Tigers, you get Sunday morning football, all day football. Love to see it. And obviously I'm on the Central Time Zone, so it's even at 8:30 for me. So it's even better. As soon as I wake up, football. And I'm going with the Bears here against the home team in the Jaguars because, well, I think the Bears are going to travel well. I get the Jaguars coming off that first win, a big win, and a high scoring affair. But I think the Bears are just the better team. The 1.5 is kind of interesting too. I think if you want to bet on this game and you like the Bears to win, you might as well take that 1.5. But I think Caleb Williams, he's going to be on prime time, his first game in prime time. And I think he's really going to show that he is going to be a very good quarterback for the future.
Yeah, and well, actually, the Jags have played in London ever since they started playing in London. Jacksonville's played there, so very tempted to take Jags in this game, just because of the experience. but I am going with the Bears. Their defense is solid. Caleb Williams has improved a lot. Finally getting the ball to DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift. The playmakers are finally getting involved. So give me the Bears in a close one and a really entertaining Sunday morning as we look ahead to the 1 o'clock slates here.
Yeah, and then obviously we'll start it off with my Packers at home, coming off a big win last week, and they squeaked one out, I guess you could say, against the Rams. And then the Cardinals obviously coming back to beat the Niners. So this is a big game for both these teams, coming off some huge wins and looking to keep that momentum going. My Packers at home in Lambeau, they get Dobbs back after, whatever happened last week in the suspension leading up to it. But I think they're going to be okay here. My Packers get back on winning ways, 4-2, and they're going to keep showing why the NFC North is the best division in football right now.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the more entertaining games. The offenses will be on fire this week, and a lot of touchdowns will be scored.
Mhm.
Obviously, with the Cardinals, like we talked about, great offense. Kyler's been really special this year. I think Green Bay is really they've already kind of put it together, but I really think they're gonna put it together this week. Dontavian Wicks, and all the whole wide receiver crew. I think they'll have good games this week against the Cardinals, and I think Green Bay will win. And the spread's very tempting because I think it's a touchdown about, but I'm gonna stay away.
Yeah, and then you want to talk about high scoring. Obviously, we're both taking the over here on this one. And I'm even going with the Commanders here on the road. I just think when you're hot, you're hot. I get the Ravens have won three straight, and the Commanders, same thing for them. Everybody's talking about these two teams right now, and it's really good to see that these teams face each other at this point in the season rather than late in the season. I wouldn't be shocked if the Commanders lose this game, but I'm going with them just because, all the momentum's there. And I think that if they win this game, they're going to actually probably be top three in the NFC, maybe even top two at this point. And if Jaden Daniels keeps playing the way he's playing.
Yeah, all really good points, and I really like the Commanders this year. Just beating my Browns up last week was a lot, or not my Browns, obviously. I got to go with the Ravens here. I think they're a better team, and they play Lamar is what something stupid. His record's what some like 18-0 or something against the
Oh, it's like
NFC.
27-1 or something crazy.
Yeah, so 27-1. Yeah, I'm gonna take my chances here. I think the Ravens are gonna stay explosive. This, like you said, over here, and give me Baltimore here at home.
Yeah, and then probably don't have to talk about this one too much. The only thing, Mixon and Collins, obviously those guys, Collins officially on IR, Mixon lingering hip injury because of the hip drop tackle, and he called actually the guy out, injured him because of that. But I think the Texans doesn't matter who's number wide receiver one or RB1 this week. As long as Stroud's out there playing against the Patriots, they're going to win this game.
Yeah, 100% agree here.
And then huge game for the NFC South. Feels like every time an NFC South team plays each other, it's a huge game because no one ever pulls away in this division. And that's what makes this division really good. I mean, the Panthers, if they win this week, if they upset a team this week and they win, they're in the running. For this one though, I'm going with the Bucks on the road. Last week's heartbreaking loss to the Falcons on the road. I think they get revenge here on the Saints this week. And these two teams always play very close, very chippy games. Mike Evans always shines in these kind of situations against the Saints. So I like the Bucks' chances here.
Yeah, I also like the Bucks here, and they need to get back in that consistency. Seems like they've been a little inconsistent recently, playing really well and then a little inconsistent. This game in New Orleans should be a tough test, so I expect Baker to be show up and bake. I didn't know about Mike Evans, but it makes me feel good about having Mike Evans on my fantasy team. Let's go Bucks, baby.
Yeah, and then probably, a very easy pick. I would say if this is one of your points where you pick, I'd probably put the most points here this week on the Eagles, just because, it's the Browns and the Browns are figuring out ways to Brown. And, you can compare Deshaun Watson to Johnny Manziel right now. Those two stats through their first 16 games, almost identical. And it's really kind of been just a huge, huge disappointment. And I think a lot of Browns fans are calling for DTR here sometime soon if Watson keeps putting up these numbers.
Yeah, well, where's Jameis Winston at? They gotta.
Yeah, I'm
I feel
pretty sure I think he's still on the team. I think he's the backup. Throw him in there.
Yeah, let's throw him in there and just get Amari Cooper rolling.
Mhm.
That's the only way you can save the Browns.
Well, I think Chubb's coming back this week. That'll
I mean,
help, but I don't know if it's going to be like, they're going to win games now, but it's just the same old Browns. But we'll move to the next one. Now, this is a huge game for both these teams this early in the season. AFC South implications, obviously. Titans obviously want to get back to winning ways coming out of a bye. Will Levis yeah, kind of has a job on the line here these next few weeks. If the Titans are going to roll with him or Rudolph's going to be the guy moving forward. And I think this is one of those games where Levis finally has his best game of the season. And I say that because what the Jaguars did last week to the Colts defense was atrocious performance by the Colts defense. And Titans get a week and a half to prepare for this game. I think the Titans are going to come out hot and win this game.
Yeah, I think the Colts are going to win this game. I mean, AR is supposed to be back, but if not, I think I feel better even if Joe Flacco is in this game. I mean, I know Michael Pittman's out, expected to be in the I to be on the IR, but they still got weapons over there. Alec Pierce scored 2 touchdowns in 13 seconds last week, in that almost comeback against the Jags, as you were talking about. I think this offense is good. Ever since they beat the Steelers, I have a little belief in them. They played well, and they played well last week. Besides the loss, Titans have not looked good at all. Like you said, Will Levis, he's playing for his career or his start and his first job. I think he'll get a job somewhere else, but
Yes, Jordan Mason, he's back in. He's
he's
back in.
back. That's what we like to
So
hear.
we'll move to the 4 o'clock games, and I'm going with the Chargers on the road. But this Broncos team, I'll talk about the Broncos. They are playing some great football right now. Their defense is playing great. And even Bo Nix last week had his best game as a pro this year and only a 5 game stint. But hey, it's great to see him progress this early. And if he can have another decent performance against the Chargers, against Jim Harbaugh in the bye week, I mean, this Broncos team could be turning some heads here if they get a win here. But I just don't think it's going to happen because, like I already said, Harbaugh out of a bye week, and you know how he loves to run the ball. I think the Chargers here can grind one out.
Yeah, man, that's spot on right there. Just exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, and then your Steelers, kind of same thing. I think they could be almost identical to that game. Your Steelers obviously need to get back in the win column. Raiders making a quarterback change, Aiden O'Connell stepping in for Gardner Minshew now. And, it's going to be a very interesting game here because both these teams are kind of falling down the slope here. And whoever loses this game might just fall into the pit of despair, is what it kind of feels like through 6 weeks.
I I mean, I don't know about that one, man. That's a little bit of an overreaction. So, I mean, Justin Fields has looked great. This offenses look really good. There's no pit of despair for the Steelers. I think they're going to send the Raiders into the relegation tier next week. They're going to
Hmm.
be sent out, and
Send them to the
Justin,
gulag.
yeah, they're getting gulagged out.
Yeah, but I think an interesting thing to note is let's say the Steelers do happen to lose this game. Is it Russell Wilson time? I mean, it's an honest question to be asked. We'll have to
Well,
see. They're gonna win, so it's not gonna
hey, can I give
matter.
it a crack though? I say it depends on how he plays anyway.
That is fair because I mean Fields really isn't the problem.
Right. Yeah, it's just, I mean, last week was tough. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
But,
getting back
move
to
on to this one. Talk about another NFC South game. Falcons on the road. This team has looked different the last 2 weeks that come from behind last Thursday. Yeah, I'm rolling with the Falcons here. I mean, the Panthers could put up a fight in the first half, but I just think depth is where it gets the Panthers here in the second half and expected probably by this time next week that I wouldn't be shocked if a wide receiver or two gets dealt for the Panthers.
Well, I mean, I don't know about all that, but here we go with the Falcons. I mean, obviously the Panthers are just,
Pit
and
of despair.
that's really the pit of despair for real.
Yeah.
And the Falcons lose this game, then we're not going to be talking good about the Falcons next week. And Bijan, another talking point. He's really underperformed this year. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know, Bijan. I think, fantasy wise, I mean, you could definitely say he's been a bust the first 5 weeks.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of time left in the season. This could be that game where he really puts up like a 30 burger. I wouldn't be
he
shocked
needs it.
here.
I mean,
Uh,
he needs it.
but he's still young enough. He's in a Kirk Cousins offense. They're still getting acquainted with each other. I would definitely buy low on him now, though, if it is just a single year league, like a redraft league
Yeah.
because I think he could have a very strong second half. And the NFC South isn't really known for their defenses and stopping the run.
All right. I like that answer.
Yeah, but then you want to talk about scoring points. I think this is going to be that game. Both of us have the over in this one. Well, you kind of have it in this one.
It would have been my seventh pick.
6.5 lock of the week.
Yeah.
But I'm going with the Lions on the road because last year's debacle didn't report eligible, yada yada, all that. And I think the Lions, this is the game they've been circled on their calendar since the schedule got released because they want to come into Dallas and put a whooping on the boys. And I don't think it's gonna be a whooping, but I wouldn't be shocked if they win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean the only tricky part here is that it's in Dallas. I think Detroit's a way better team and just better all around. So I am going with the Lions here, but I think it's going to be close. I think just like how this matchup kind of always is, it's always close. Think back to last year and the was he eligible? I think it was that game, wasn't it? Yeah. So I mean, I think the Lions are going to win it anyway, and
And then Sunday Night Football, kind of an underwhelming game here if you look at just the records. But honestly, it's a huge game for both these teams because the Bengals, they might get sent to the gulag here if they lose this game at 1-5. If let's say the Giants lose this game, I mean, I don't want to say they're out of the NFC East picture because the Commanders could be running away with the division, but kind of feels that way. And I think it's a huge game for both these teams. I'm going with the Bengals on the road. I still believe in this Bengals team. I think they can still make the playoffs. They had a tough 5 games on their schedule here, and I think it's one of those easier ones. If you want to be a playoff team, you have to win this game. And if they lose this one, I think I might be out on the Bengals for the rest of the year.
yeah, me too. And it's not to say that I mean, if they win 10 straight, which they totally still could after that and go 11-5 or 12-5, which they totally could. But like you said, it's going to be really hard. It's a tough schedule, and they have already lost to some pretty bad teams. Giants would be another one. So we're not even think about that. And I wouldn't be too mad, but I do like the Bengals roster. I think they're a better team than the Steelers. Obviously better than the Browns. So dropping to 1-5 would really be bad, and I think it won't happen this week. They're gonna get to 2-4 with a win over the Giants, and Daniel Jones looked good. I mean, he looked good last week. So say what you want, but he plays good ball. The Giants could definitely win.
Then moving to Monday Night Football, big game again for the AFC East. You know, the Bills are kind of starting to fall back to the mid tier. Jets, I don't even know where to rank them. They're under 500, so definitely not in the mid tier, but I think they can get a win here. And if the Jets get a win here, I just think that, that AFC East is just going to be up for grabs coming down the last week of the season because, it's really just a two-horse race, and these are the two teams at this point. Because as long as the Dolphins don't have Tua, and obviously the Patriots are turning to Drake May this week, so who knows what's going to happen there. But I'm going with the Jets, home game. And I just think if, let's say the Yankees do end up winning tonight, I think the city and the Mets obviously are winning. The city of New York is going to be out and loud for this game. And I think that's going to be a huge advantage here for the Jets.
Yeah, I like that. I like that analysis, but I mean, the Bills, I wouldn't, that's a little far going that the Bills are a mid team, I think. I think they lost to the Ravens and they got mollywopped by the Ravens, but then they lost to the Texans as well. So tough, that's two of the top
I will say
top
bad
four.
coaching. I can't not mention the bad coaching from Sean McDermott last week. 3 passes at the end of the game at your own like 5 yard line, and then you
That
pick the ball. They get like
Hey, he took
70
ownership of that though.
yards.
I mean, I don't know. I'm taking the Bills here in this game though. I mean, Aaron Rodgers looked 48. Looks like he's been taking that ayahuasca
And my
in the
Packers
desert.
won that trade.
Yeah, they definitely want that trade. Garrett Wilson's getting 28 targets a game.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't, but I wouldn't be shocked at this point next week if, let's say the Jets win this game and Devontae Adams is a New York Jet. So you could be looking at that, and that could be, something to rejuvenate the offense. And Breece Hall, man, when is he going to show up?
well, I guess we'll find out.
And hopefully next week you're going to be back to see how we did on our picks. And
Yeah,
obviously we'll be picking next week. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. But until next time, we're out. Bye.